Hi there, my name is Toby, and today I want to talk about some ideas for ancient technology, ancient lasers and direct energy, let's call it Weap0ns, direct energy Weap0ns, how we might have had some in the past and how we might have some today and in the future. It's also connected to alien technology, what the aliens might be able to do. It's all to do with ether physics. Once you've got an idea that there's a different explanation for the physical universe and the laws of physics, there's a different explanation that is ether physics, then you can begin to see how there could be some other technologies. Now let's talk about the past first of all, because we know ancient Egypt, it's in the news again now, so people are starting to realize how powerful the pyramids were. So these are very powerful ancient technologies, and these were electrostatic generators, collected a vast amount of electrostatic energy. And once you understand that, okay, if you've got free energy, then we can start already comprehending, yeah, we can have technology. But even without direct free energy, there is still massive energy available. It's always available. There is massive energy in the earth, and we've got massive energy in the sun, and all we've got to do is harness them, and we can have very powerful technology, which is what this ancient technology was. And now we know the pyramid had these great big towers, pillars, columns or wells going down, so this would be to connect to the earth force, and it would be piezoelectric because at the base there were these large cubes. So they now say, but that would be piezoelectricity. Vast amount of pressure crushing on these crystals will create electrostatics. So that will bring electricity up automatically and continuously, but it would also be frequencies. These will be picking up the frequencies of the earth, the Schumann resonance, the resonant frequencies of the planet. Vast amount of energy there, if you could just tune into it, harness it. As well as just ambient telluric currents, electricity passing through the earth. You pick this all up. That's the whole idea of ley lines. You put your building on a ley line or an intersection of ley lines. There's a lot of energy, electricity in the earth underneath. Something real is going on. You're tapping into it. And it's the same with the sun. The sun is already a direct energy Weap0n, as it were, shining down. So all it means is we need a method of harnessing that. So there's two energies available, the earth and the sun. Let's just look at the sun first of all. So again, ancient technology, well, all we really need is a lens to focus the sun. We already know that a magnifying glass, and with the sun you can start a fire. So you need a big lens, massive lens, and maybe a series of lenses. Then you can create something very much like a laser. You could have this ancient technology, you could have lasers. And you could imagine there might be a method of mirrors and lenses on an apparatus that you could move it around. You would still have a laser. And you could make this very powerful, cut through rock, cut through metal with this laser. I could see this could be quite possible. But you can have more than just a laser. You could also have a phaser, that is sound. You could have a method of sound amplification and focusing sound, again, down to a point, like a laser, but now it's like ultrasound, and you can cut with that. That could also be very powerful technology. Now again, that would require a great understanding of mathematics, and it would need the mathematics of the golden ratio. If you look at the work of Victor Schauberger, he talks a lot about water, particular spirals, but you need to create these hyperbolic spirals, particular spirals to do with the golden ratio, maximum efficiency in the acceleration of the water. So you could have that with sound as well if you knew how to create these spirals, again like shells, natural shells. What is the conch shell? You blow it, it echoes through the spiral of the shell, amplifies it. So you could have these sort of things, focus sound into a sort of a laser, a phaser, a sound laser. But of course, now I talked about water, Victor Schauberger, He's done this, he's proven it, he's created generators through these spiraling water jets, and they just spin round. You create a spinning object through accelerating water down a hyperbolic spiral or a parabolic spiral. I can't remember what you call it exactly. But that means if you've got the right efficiency, the right mathematics, you can accelerate water and create some technology. And you could create that again into a very fine cutting water. So you can cut with high speed water, again like a laser. Maybe you could call that a waser, a water laser. So this could all be ancient technology, but it still requires great intelligence, mathematics, and understanding of the nature of the universe. You would need this ether physics. So already you've got some things there. And some of these things could also be larger direct energy Weap0ns. Because again, like a lens, if you had a big powerful lens on the top of a mountain, or even floating in an air balloon, you could point that down at a town or a city, and you could create some, powerful direct energy to destroy a city. It could be quite possible. And if you get enough lenses and the exact efficiency of amplification of light, you could get to the level where you melt rock. You could. So again, I've already argued this, I've already questioned are these so-called nuclear devices, nuclear explosive devices, are they real? Because it requires, it's the question of, would there be a chain reaction in a nuclear material or not? So I've already had this video, talked about it, but there is evidence of ancient massive destructions. So again, people have already contemplated that. Did we already have this so-called nuclear devices in ancient history? I would say that's not so likely, because I'm not sure that is a real thing. Again, I have to look at my other video talking about this. But quite easy to have powerful direct energy Weap0ns that could do massive damage. Again, that's a one-way amplification of sunlight, but even through sound, you could do this on a bigger scale. And again, they say that levitation of objects could be done through sound. If you get the right frequency and the rebound of a sound wave, it could reverberate and bring something up. Again, it would require exact frequencies and massive amplification and focusing of the sound to have any real effect. But in theory and in ether physics, such a thing would be possible if you had the correct amplification power supply. You need, again, precise engineering, but it could have a different type of engineering, not anything we would recognize. And again, let's look at the pyramids again. Now that's electrostatics. And again, we can't comprehend how powerful these things were. But imagine the power. It would be, again, the pyramids were smooth, limestone casing, shiny. And there was a capstone, either gold or crystal capstone. But there would be so much electrostatics, there would be lightning coming out the top. Discharge coming off, discharges, but lightning going upwards into the sky. That's why, again, they talk about these things as resurrection machines, powerful things. You go in there, there's so much energy, electricity, that even a dead body starts to move. But again, I think it's called resurrection machines because it's to do with the soul spirit. It's to do with building an energy body to help you travel in the astral world, an astral plane, the energy world. Again, I've talked about this before, but that's another thing. There was so much electrostatic power that you are literally generating lightning. So this could be perfectly possible. And if you could then focus the power of that lightning into a direct energy Weap0n, or even into a laser, again, what you'd have now is a plasma cutter. You would be able to create a plasma cutter if you could connect to this powerful lightning in the pyramids. But all you would need is, again, a resonance. This is where Tesla's physics comes in. Tesla's wireless power transfer happens through resonance. So you would have the pyramid creating very powerful electrostatics and a smaller resonant machine that collects that and then discharges it locally. So you could have plasma cutters. You Could have that as well. Why not? So this, again, ancient technology, different. Again, if we saw these machines, we might not recognize them as what they are, because you're using things like stone, crystal. You can also have copper wire. They would have had copper. So you can have coils of copper, coils of gold. You could have formations of gold, copper, various metals, resonant formations. This is all to do with geometry. You need precise mathematics, precise geometry, and understanding of resonance and the frequency of the earth. Like I said, the pyramid has to resonate with the Schumann resonance of the earth. Someone's got to do the mathematics, the calculations, look at these things and see what they would resonate with. But I'm sure this is how it works. They also resonate with the cosmos, the stars. The pyramids are aligned with the cosmos. Again, incredible technology and advanced beings to understand this and be able to do it. So these are ancient technologies. Now, if you could understand, in the ancient world, we could have these direct energy Weap0ns. It's no big deal for us to have them now. And Tesla was famous to have invented one, developed one called he called it the death ray. And even far more powerful than a so-called nuclear device. He talked about levels of power where you could create matter. And I've talked about this in my ether physics a lot. Matter is ultimately created by high frequency light. Super high powered light, high frequency, will turn into particles, neutrons. And it's proven now in a black hole is emitting neutrons, particles. It's called galactic jets, astrophysical jets. So they know that now, they say that as well. So high frequency light is matter, and if Tesla could create a direct energy projector of such high frequency, then you would be able to create matter, particles. And again, this is where alien technology comes in. And you see, you've got to understand, either you connect to the energy of the earth, which is so massive, we need a power source. There's got to be a power source. So it's the earth, it's the sun, or even it could be the stars, or it is a free energy generator. So again, that's another thing that Tesla's talking about, free energy. And then now lots of people talking about it, I talk about it. We could have a solid state free energy generator, like this is a magnet. Here's a magnet, that is energy coming out of it permanently, but it's only one type of energy, magnetism, and it's not very powerful. So we need other types of this where we can get electricity out of it or heat out of it. I've already talked about some ideas. Or you have a generator like a magnetic dynamo. You use magnets to spin a wheel, so that just permanently spins because you set up magnets to pull it round. Then that becomes a dynamo which you generate electricity from. Free energy generator. So you need ideas like this, but then more and more powerful ones to create more and more energy, leading up to really what we need is a fusion reactor, an implosion fusion reactor. You know, you create fusion by imploding energy into a point. This is the 0 point. This is one of the secrets of free energy. It's got to be inwards to a point. And then the energy comes out from the point. And this is, you can also think about this as coherence. That's what a laser is. That's what these lenses would do. Create coherence, focus the energy. That's what a magnet is. It's coherence. All the little atoms line up to create coherence, one big magnet. So Tesla's death ray would be to do with that. But again, it would be to do with electrostatics, magnetism, linking to the power of the earth, or a generator. So it's quite easy to do, which means it's very likely we've got these, and we admit that. You know, the military has already admitted it, shown off. It's got a laser on the front of a plane. It can already do a lot. Very powerful laser. We've already got microwaves. You can focus microwaves and knock things out the sky, disrupt electronics with a microwave pulse. Easy to do. Very easy to create focused microwaves as a direct energy Weir pan. That's what makes these cell phones so dangerous. It's microwaves. So it's perfectly possible that we got them. And if you look now, again, most recently, we've got evidence for this. If you look at the island, a tropical island off the coast of America, recently had a lot of destruction, a lot of so-called natural fires, natural burnings, wild burnings. But if you look at the footage, I've seen it. If you haven't seen it, you've got to look. You will see on that island there are cars, molten metal. The aluminium in the car has melted. You could see the aluminium run down the road. But the road is tarmac. The tarmac is intact, not melted. Nothing happened to the road, only the aluminium has melted. And then you've got the buildings. The buildings have crumbled, crushed. The metal has bent. But the trees, their trees are still there. Some trees have still got green leaves on them. But the building is destroyed. Now, the only way this can happen is with a direct energy Weir pan, and it needs to be frequencies. We're looking at Tesla's physics here. Because when you understand frequencies and you can focus frequencies in a direction, for example, you would focus the frequency on aluminium, or say. So aluminium would heat up, that would melt, but nothing else around it. You could do it on steel. Find the frequency of steel, focus the beam, the steel would heat up, bend, warp. Maybe you haven't got enough power to melt it, but bend it. Again, it depends on the power you can generate. And then also you could have stone. If you know the frequency of concrete, you can again project that frequency, that will crack the stone. And you can still have a straight up laser. Because they've seen that some of the rooftops were painted blue, some of the iron tubs were painted blue, so that reflects a particular light, or rather it resists a particular light. So those things are okay. So that is, again, only evidence for that is direct energy projection. And there are other reasons, of course. There was, of course, fire as well. But there's multiple ways of creating fire, and they all said that. There's very powerful winds, a lot of planes. What do you call it? Let's say a lot of planes spraying things. So when you spray things, heavy metals into the atmosphere, they are incendiary. So they will ignite, especially with powerful winds. And it's easy to create powerful winds once you understand energy projection, because again, they've got these systems on the ground. Microwave projectors, it's HAARP. I don't want to say the word, but you know what they are. These can create temperature changes and create movements of wind. So you could do all this quite easy. And don't forget, Tesla also is known to have created earthquakes, because once you can create powerful electrostatics, collect this energy, once you've got harmonics, frequencies, and you can project it, all you have to do is bounce that energy back into the earth. So that will go, imagine a powerful electric current. They know it, telluric currents will create earthquakes. That's what they watch for as well, minute movements, electrical activity. So if you can create powerful electric activity underground, you're going to have an effect. Imagine a bolt of lightning. How powerful is that? I talked about it. The pyramids, you've got the power of lightning. Imagine you could focus the power of lightning. It's like superpowers. All you need is a resonant thing. It's like Stargate. Look at Stargate. They've got these projectile weapons. Direct energy projection weapons. It could be done through resonant frequencies, picking it up from the bigger generator. But now imagine you can do that underground. Fire a bolt of lightning underground in a particular direction. That's going to cause massive cracking in the rocks. Especially if you know the frequency of rocks, the rocks you want to affect. Also, you can match water, pulses through water. It's all about frequencies. If you know where there's a lot of underground water, you can send a pulse of energy to underground water. Quite easy to do this stuff. And again, there's only one more step, you see. I mean, we know it now. The establishment has got these technologies. We talk about alien technologies. They used to say there's no aliens. Now they're saying there are aliens. They're disclosing them bit by bit. So you're now saying there are aliens. That means you do have alien technology. So the most important question is, why have you been lying for so long? And what else are you lying about? What other technology have you got? Oh yeah, we can't tell you that because it's national security. So they're going to have all these direct energy Weap0ns. Of course they are. But they will also have free energy. But free energy is the biggest secret. They can never let us have that. If we get free energy, the game is over. Because we all can be independent, self-sufficient. So they can't let us have that. But aliens, yeah, they'll show us aliens. But not free energy. Free energy is the one we want. That's why we have to rediscover it. We have to talk about it, think about it, experiment. It's not that difficult. It's just a different approach to science. We need to understand the ether. So if they've got this technology, they're using it, and you've got to now ask the question, where are you using it? How are you using it? And how much of these natural disasters, are they natural? The only way you have to look at other things. You have to look at what other things are going on. Where are the satellites? Where are these base stations? Because you've got this HAARP. You have this on boats now. They go around on boats. So they can move this technology about to create different effects. So you've got to look where these are. You've got the direct energy Weap0ns on planes. You can map where they are. People have done it. It just so happens on that tropical island, there were some of these things in the area at the time. So it means they're using them on the people. They're using them on the people. That's the biggest thing of all. You see, out of all the lies, that's the real one. That's the question. Or are they? Are they? I'm just asking. If we can now logically deduce that this technology is not that difficult, it existed in the past. We've got people like Tesla that have created designs for it. We've got aliens that they now admit they've got, must have the technology. It's not a small leap of deductive reasoning to think, yeah, they're bound to have some advanced technology that can do this stuff. Then you have to ask, are they doing anything with it? And what are they doing? And are they looking after us? Are they using it for our benefit? Are they healing us? Are they bringing us health and well-being, abundance? Are they bringing us joy, happiness, world peace? Or is it just chaos and natural disasters, underground, overground, the weather, the water, the sunshine, natural disasters? Yeah. Of course, it's only natural because the authorities, the establishment, we trust them. They look after us. Yeah. We, the people, created the establishment. They have to be looking after us. Of course they're looking after us. They're trying to protect us from all the natural disasters. What happens when there's a natural disaster? They rush in straight away and look after us, don't they? Yeah, they give us a lot of money to help us. I think in that island they gave them $600 to help them. So the establishment, they're really helping us. Yeah. They're protecting us from the natural disasters. Yeah. A lot of missing people, missing young people, very small young people. I think over 2,000 missing from that island. No one asking, no media coverage. Where are they? I don't know. But the establishment, they're looking for them. Yeah, they're going to find them. Yeah, of course they are. Of course they are. So I hope this little talk made sense. I wanted to point out that this technology is not difficult, but it requires a different way of thinking. And they're never going to tell us. We can wait forever. They're going to tell us about aliens. They'll tell us about even anti-gravity. They'll tell us who assassinated JFK. Yeah, they might not even tell us that. But they're not going to tell us about free energy. That's game over. So we have to discover that again for ourselves. If we understand the science, we can work it out. Can't take that away, and we have to open source it. That's what I'm doing on my channel. I'm telling my ideas straight away. Let's get them out there, thinking about this. Start little experiments. It's perfectly possible. So thank you so much for your time again. Thank you for listening to me, and I hope to see you in any of these other videos here.